guys walk up a little bit closer, you stand there. I'm not going to stand in the sun, but I'm going to go over a few things. Just, you good? We're going to light her up when you get closer. All the information we're going to talk about is on that table. If you haven't got it, grab one. Real quick, again, in the back of one of those pamphlets, there's what causes fires the most. And what's on the increase is smoking with oxygen. If you have oxygen in your house at any time, or if you smoke and go to a friend's house that has oxygen, do not do it, because if they don't have the tank on, they've been there doing their oxygen treatment. That stuff is soaking their clothes and furniture, and it don't take long. Once it goes, you'll never get it stopped. So that is one of the huge fires that we've seen that's a big increase on the start of fires and structural damage. A little bit about fire. The old figures used to be 1,000 degrees on temperatures. It's a lot higher than that based on what they built the furniture and the houses out of. The old houses, they used to say you had 17 minutes to exit from the time of the fire started. Today's fires, less than 3 minutes to get out before the house is fully involved. The fire will grow every 60 to 90 seconds. The reason for that is two things. The way they build the houses, they're quicker, they're stronger, but they're glued and stapled together. The glue burns, the stuff falls apart, the houses fall in. It's not a good deal. The other thing is everything's built out of hydrocarbons, which in simple terms is pretty much gasoline in a solid form. So when these things start going, you'll notice the black smoke. It'll take over real quick, and you'll see how fast this thing burns. The black smoke that you see, the burning plastics that put the black smoke off, inside that gas is cyanide gas. So you're trying to go back in your house or get down your hallway with that black smoke, you're ingesting, inhaling cyanide gas, and we all know what that does. So not a good outcome. Residential homes less than 5 minutes today are usually fully involved. The latest numbers from the insurance company. Next thing, smoke alarms. This is why we're here today. Do not take them down. Don't take the batteries out for Junior's toy that quit working. Leave the batteries in it. If it's chirping, call the office. If you own your own house, get smoke detectors on every floor. You're required by state law to have them within a reasonable distance of a sleeping area, which is 15 feet or less. Every floor, including the basement, must have them. If you have anything that burns a fuel product, natural gas, LP, you have to have a CO detector per floor in a sleeping area within 15 feet. If you have all electric in your house and you have an attached garage, you're still required by law to have a CO detector in your house. Do not take your smoke detectors down. We're going to show you why here in a minute. Once this stuff gets going, see how fast this is going to be inside your house. And once this starts, you don't have a detector. By the time you smell it, it's way too late to go down the hallway. You're jumping out of windows at best. All right. Here's a stat that I thought was pretty interesting. 94% of all homes have at least one smoke detector. However, a third of all of those do not have batteries or do not work. Doesn't do you a lot of good to have them if they don't work and you don't keep batteries in them. Again, Junior's toy, you need to go to the store and get a new battery. Our detectors that we provide for the housing are smoke CO combo, carbon monoxide. Anybody ever heard of Gerard? In North Mac School District, they had a little issue up there with CO. By law, schools are not allowed, they don't have to provide them. I bet after this year that changes. Carbon monoxide, odorless, tasteless gas. You can't taste it, you can't smell it, you go to sleep and you don't wake up. All right? Them detectors will detect it. 4 beeps on our detectors. If it goes off, get out of the house, call the fire department, call the police department. They'll get somebody out. If you live in the house, you call the emergency phone, and somebody will come out and help you out. Anything between 35 and 50 parts per million is unsafe. The levels as they go up, this is kind of how they work. 50% in an 8-hour, or 50 parts per million in an 8-hour period is dangerous. 400 parts per million, 1 to 2 hours. Life-threatening after 3. 800 parts per million, death within 2 hours. 1,600 parts per million, death within an hour. And over that, death within 1 to 3 minutes. So I've been on several cases that they were unconscious and sick and stayed a long time in the hospital because of it. So our detectors detect that. Do not take them down. Winter's coming up. Barbecue grills, charcoal grills, if your power goes out, you will die very quick by using them for heat. There were several cases last year in the cold winter that happened. Some other things in the winter, don't use your gas stove for heat, the oven or the flames on top. Even if we talk about the barbecue grills, even the doors are open, never use a grill. And if you have a generator on your own property, not housing, if you hook it up, people put it in their garage, you don't want it to get wet, they don't want it full of snow, and the emissions from the engine, the CO, they come in the house, and again, you don't wake up. So do not ever start gas engines inside residence or inside a garage. Exits, again, in the housing, you're required to have 2 exits, one of them being a window. You cannot block the second egress. So if you do not have a fire escape plan in your house, please come up with one, and always have 2 means of egress out of each room. Because sometimes you're upstairs and you got a fire down below in the stairway. You cannot get out of the stairway. You got to go out a window. If you've got them blocked, it's hard for us to get in, and it's hard for you to get out. So, and during inspections, if you're caught, everybody knows that you'll be asked to move it within a 24-hour period. Any questions on that? Faulty heating equipment is responsible for 40% of the winter home fires and the second leading cause of year-round fires. Having stuff too close to the furnace, your portable heaters, having them next to curtains, you'll see how fast curtains go up. Just beware when you buy something, try not to do it from a yard sale. I know it's cheaper, but it may have an issue you don't know about, short out, cause electrical fire. Just be careful when you're buying that stuff. A couple things I had down for heating fires: creosote buildup or lack of maintenance, plug flues, CO issues, not burning right. Like I said, that's what we got the detectors for that. Lack of space around portable heaters, wood stoves, housing don't have those, but on your own property, improperly installed or using the wrong fuels to burn in them. Styrofoam and stuff like that, it's not a good deal. So. Any questions real quick, but this is a couple highlights I wanted to hit. All this information is in the paperwork. Please take some home. We're going to start this up, and what we're going to start it with, going to start the newspaper in a trash can. Just as things happen at home, you dump your ashtray out in the trash can. We've seen it several times. That it takes off, and we'll see how quick it goes. Hopefully it works out and we get a pretty good fire. Need everybody stand back by the grass.